Innovation is in our veins. Soon the whole world will know our names. Sharing our knowledge and freedom reign. We here for the people, you know it's our way. Setting foundations is part of the dream. It doesn't matter if you're new to the game. Listen up now, cause we all gon' say, elevate, 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 higher, elevate, 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 higher. We gon' rise up, we all gon' shine. Work through adversity, stay on the grind. Elevate, elevate, this is our time. Elevate, elevate.
Welcome to the Elevate Podcast, everyone. It's so great to have you all on one more time. It's your boy, Josh
Dalton.
And we're grateful to be back on with you yet again. Another week, another Monday. Let's get it.
Another fun day.
Woo! We're also coming in the latter half of Burger Week out here.
Oh, dude, no, it's Burger Bash now.
What they're calling Burger Bash?
Yeah, I think
it's going for a month?
I don't know. It's all over the province, though, I think.
Shoot.
There's like restaurants in Shelburne that are doing it. Like, it's everywhere. I never knew that.
Dang, it's like International Women's Day keeps expanding.
Dude.
Holy jumping.
Dude,
let's go.
You're ill. You are so out of pocket. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's the reason why you're here. Keeps me in pocket out here. Sorry, Hannah. My bad. Oh, man. I got a call from Kelsey last week.
Oh, boy.
And she was like, "No, was I actually on the podcast?" I was like, "Oh, yeah, you were."
Oh.
It's all good.
Avoid.
She's like, "Oh, I don't like that." I was like, "Guess what? I don't care."
Yeah, that was an invasion of trust.
Yeah, absolutely. That actually was probably the start of the end of our relationship.
Oh, my gosh.
And we all got to witness it.
For this show.
This is not going to be the April Fool's one. Knuckle there. So lots of stuff going on in the world, specifically in our country, as per usual. Stuff we'll get into. We were talking about this before the show. I didn't want to talk about this week. I'm done talking about Trudeau. I'm done talking about the Canadian Liberal Party of Canada. Mm-hmm. Double Canada, let's go. I'm done with it. But they keep doing crap, bro.
Say, dog, like 3 things happened in the last week that are like a big deal.
Yeah, I'm just like, man, we have to cover it. But we'll also cover other things for kicks and giggles.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how we're going to do this week.
No, I love it, dude. Let's get into it. This is important stuff. And I know we keep saying we don't want to talk about whatever. It's important.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a lot of this stuff I think is not, well, we know it's not covered by, especially your last week watching standard news. It's not talked about.
That's true.
So, you know.
CBC did do a story on it, though. I was surprised. But they definitely added their little spin on it, which we'll get into.
That's always fun.
Yeah, it was really intriguing. But wanted to, before we start the show, don't forget to join us next Thursday or on Thursday. We have another episode coming out. Keep joining us for these twice-a-week episodes. We love you. Keep doing your things with us. We do it for you.
Yeah, we're dying here until 9:30.
Exactly.
Watch the video. Watch it.
We want the views. And then secondly, we are going to be adding a new segment to our shows. It's going to be our fan corner section. I don't know, what do you call it? It's going to be our fan corner segment. That's
sick, dude.
Here for it. So send your questions. We'll be addressing them during that period in time.
Yeah, hit our DMs, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of people sending some good emails this week.
Dude, people love to email us.
Yeah.
Are we like boomers?
Apparently, I guess so, but like
no one messes with us.
Our age group is 25 to 33, so I guess maybe we are.
Everyone emails us. Yeah. That's crazy.
That is actually pretty nuts.
It's just something I definitely would do.
Well, they can't do it. They can't really message us through YouTube or TikTok, so it makes sense. They could do it through Insta, but people don't really know us through IG.
Yeah, that's true.
So that could be the issue.
That could be the IG issue, man.
You know what the last issue is? Shout out to Philip's dad. Oh, baby.
You're so out of pocket.
He was like, Philip, these guys are just right-leaning basics.
Dude, we are some lames.
And to that, I say, you right.
We are lame.
Yeah,
Loser.
Like, only losers talk about politics, and we are losers.
Honestly, true. We're doing this to ourselves.
Yeah.
It's our own torture. We create our own hell.
We're just flogging ourselves.
For my dad to hear this, sounds like, Phil, you got to leave the podcast now.
It's no longer healthy for you. They're toxic.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, you're right. Toxic white men.
That's just the show, man.
Yeah.
Rename it.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Because that's a fun way to start the show because of all the stuff we're talking about today. Hong Dong.
Oh, I don't think you can say it like that.
Oh, sorry. No, that was actually a legitimate mistake. Han Dong. Sorry.
That's not even the name.
My bad. I think it's pronounced Han Dong, though. That's why.
I thought you said Hong Dong.
I did.
That's racist.
It was a mistake. It was a mistake.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Clip it.
Yeah.
Clip it.
The end of my cancellation right there.
Yeah.
That's the end of my career. But yes, Han Dong is a Liberal MP, or in this case, was a former Liberal
I was
MP.
gonna say he's not anymore.
And
Look at the picture.
oh, he's a hero
He's
in
for the
all of our
people.
eyes. Han Dong was a Liberal MP for the Liberal Party of Canada. And he kind of got his hands a little dirty with the
A little.
a little dirty. Things have come out where he was dealing directly with a Chinese diplomat to delay the release of the Michaels. And those who know who the Michaels are, they are Canadian nationals who got arrested in Canada back in 2018 because they just got caught in a political warfare.
Got arrested in China.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. My bad. Yeah, specifically, they were arrested in China.
Yeah.
Shortly after, we as Canadians arrested the CEO of Huawei.
Yeah, like within the week, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it was like,
I was like, I'll go find those Canadian white boys and arrest them.
Like, who do we have who's the most important Canadians we have in our country
Check
right
the
now?
flight logs.
We're going for them.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happens. These guys got arrested.
Yeah.
And so
And he wanted to keep them arrested. Like, what?
it was a weird scenario. And anyways, Trudeau really tried to paint it like he really was working hard to get these guys back from
Yes.
Chinese captivity.
Yeah.
This, that, the other. So anyways, this is the story. Liberal MP Han Dong secretly advised Chinese diplomat in 2021 to delay freeing the two Michaels, says sources. So Dong also allegedly recommended that Beijing show some progress in the Cove Rig and Spavor, the Michaels cases. The two sources said such a move would help the ruling Liberal Party, which was facing an uproar over China's inhumane treatment of Cove Rig and Spavor. Dong, who represents the Toronto area riding of Don Valley North, was the one to initiate the discussion with the Council General. The two sources said, adding that Dong stipulated at the outset that it was both a personal and work-related conversation. In an emailed statement to Global News sent Tuesday, Dong confirmed that he had a discussion with Council General Han, but disputed that he initiated it and also denies that he advised Beijing to delay the release of Cove Rig and Spavor from prison. I raised the status of both the Michaels, and called for their immediate release, he wrote. At every opportunity before they returned home, I had adamantly demanded their release to Canada without delay. Any suggestions otherwise are false and are attempts to mislead you and your readers and slander me.
But then he resigned.
But then he didn't resign.
Oh.
He stepped away from the Liberal Party.
Oh.
And now he's running as an independent.
Oh.
Yeah. Because he still believes in free
Canada.
democracy. Canada. Let's go.
I really don't think you could say it like that.
I cannot say it like that. Oh my gosh, you guys. I hate all of you so much.
Just teasing. I'm just
I hate all of you. Where's Courtney?
Why would she want to?
'Cause
I'm telling her.
she'd be the first one to roast me too.
No, dude.
Yeah.
So yeah, his quotes were with the. So why leave the Liberals to remain independent? I guess is the
Let's just play the
is
video.
the question. Oh,
This is his standing in the Parliament, telling everyone that he is stepping away from the Liberal Party.
oh, okay. I love it.
I rise on a point of order. I have informed the Prime Minister and the leadership of the Liberal Party caucus that I will be sitting as an independent at the conclusion of these remarks. Mr. Speaker, I'm in your hands as to what happens next. To all my colleagues in the Parliament, media reports today quoting unverified and anonymous sources have attacked my reputation and called into questions my loyalty to Canada.
Canada!
Let me be clear. What has been reported is false, and I will defend myself against these absolutely untrue claims. But let me assure you, as a parliamentarian and as a person, I have never, and I will never, would never advocate or support the violation of the basic human rights of any Canadian, of anyone, anywhere, period. The accusations are false. My family came to Canada for freedom. I have had the privilege of being elected to this House, and I believe I have served honorably and pledged to continue to serve honorably and fulfill my oath of office. I will continue to serve the residents of Don Valley North as an independent member of this House. I'm taking this extraordinary step because sitting the government caucus is a privilege, and my presence there may be seen by some as a conflict of duty, and the wrong place to be as an independent investigation pursues the facts in this matter. I will be sitting as an independent so that business of government and indeed the business of parliament is not interrupted as I work to clear my name and the truth is presented to parliament and to Canadian people.
Brother's hands were just a shaking.
Dude, there's a lot of points in that I was cracking up.
He said, I will defend myself against any accusations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he had an opportunity to, and he resigned from the Liberal Party to sit independent.
Mm-hmm. Because he didn't want to be a distraction. There's two things that really cracked me up the most about this whole situation, because it was very liberal-esque in the best way possible.
Mm-hmm.
He said something along the lines of, I don't want to damage any person or human being. I was like, wow, that was very calculated. I just want to make sure you got your...
He has 3 pages.
Yeah, I was like, bro, what's going on?
He came in with 3 pages of notes.
And then the whole, like, I did not, I did not
have sexual relations with that.
That's exactly what that sounded like. That's exactly what that sounded like. I was like, yo, does someone
write this for you?
Please.
It's okay. Show us your PR person.
They're probably punking you at this point. Like, holy jumping. So there was a lot going on, right? And he is maintaining that he's innocent. He didn't do this. Mm-hmm. He didn't, talk to Chinese representatives directly.
Right.
He didn't do any of this.
Yeah.
And that he's now going to sit as an independent for justice until things kind of cool off, is what I gathered.
And then what? He'll just rejoin the Liberal Party. Like, can you do that? I don't think so.
That's a good question.
And can you just rejoin and get your spot back? Like,
you have to probably cozy up to the leader a little bit.
Well, this kind of feels like that's what this is. This feels like that's what he's doing. Is like, I'm gonna save face because you've got enough going on right now. So that way, if something comes out against me, I'll be an independent. It will not be the Liberal Party member. It'll be the independent.
And it's a smart move, policies wise, right? Because a lot of anyone who reads this, like, well, you were in the Liberal Party the whole time, so we don't really care. But when the news writes about it, all they'll say is independent MP Han Dong, who was formerly, people will never catch that last part. They'll always just watch it.
Whatever shows up from the Apple News icon is like enough. The headline.
Exactly. And that's all it matters. Like, it'll take a little bit of heat off the Liberal Party in general. Mm-hmm. That's part of the game here.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Especially everything going on right now. Like, it's like the Liberals, it's the consequences of their own actions, but they can't catch a break right now.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, when that guy's your leader, well,
yeah,
you're always going to be in trouble. So you got Han Dong over here, who's another person who's gotten caught up in the old Trudeau fun time over there.
In the corruption,
yeah,
apparently.
It's the comments on the tweet that cracked me up, though. Same question you had. Why would he decide to sit as an independent if it's false? And then we got the people who are just fighting for the Liberal Party of Canada. He's a team player. He's taking pressure off the Prime Minister and giving the CPC less to scream about. And so this is where it got interesting because, our favorite journalist, Andy Lee, she's coming in hardcore. It's that third link there. This one cracked me up, dude.
Okay.
So she posts this. This video was probably from, I think at this point, this was during the heat of COVID. So I think 2020, 2021.
Okay.
And this is what the tweet says. Justin Trudeau wishing everyone a happy Chinese New Year on IQIYI's media channel, a Chinese propaganda channel and one of China's biggest streaming sites founded by Baidu, where former Liberal MP Han Dong's wife, Sophia Cao, also happens to work as an executive. Woo!
Oh, that's really interesting.
That is really interesting. Let's just play this because this is kind of funny. This is the first 10 seconds.
新年快乐! Happy New Year, everyone. This week, we join Chinese communities in Canada and around the world to celebrate the Spring Festival and welcome the Year of the Ox.
If he can do that, I can say Hong Dong, okay? Holy jumping.
Why is he on there?
I'm so confused. Everything about this seems wild.
Why is he on there? This is this must be peak 2020, because this is like, remember when he did that hair thing?
He got the beard going.
Yeah, this is like when he was locked away in his cottage or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It was around then.
Yeah.
And but anyways, he did this whole thing for them. And I was like, why are you appearing on Chinese propaganda?
Yeah, how'd you get there? Like this was a whole operation, man.
Yeah, I got the green screen going and everything.
Man.
That's clearly a green screen.
Oh, yeah, are you kidding? He's not in China.
Oh, he's not?
Well, maybe he was. Maybe he was, and they used the green screen to make it look like he wasn't.
Oh.
Oh. Reverse psychology done.
Yeah, let's go. But it's just like there was so much about this. It felt so comedic in terms of, I literally thought it was like right-wing propaganda when I first saw it.
Well, also, like, turn the music down.
Yeah.
I can't hear him.
I was like, this has got to be a joke. I just thought it was just, as I said, some right-wing propagandists who are just trying to give Trudeau a hard time, make him look bad. Because it looks so cheddar. It's so cheddar, dude. But it happened. That was a real video.
Yeah, man, this is their straight up.
And we're going to scroll down. This is where it gets interesting in the tweets. So, come on. This fellow didn't know what was going on in his own caucus with Han Dong. Oh, and there's more. Marco Mendocino.
Oh.
Sean Chen, Jean Yip, Han Dong, and Mary Inge, all appearing on the same channel, doing stuff.
Oh my gosh!
Whoa!
Wait, there's so many Canadians on there.
Yep, and all appearing on this one channel in China.
Member of Parliament, Minister of Immigration, Mayor of Toronto.
Wait,
There's John Tory.
John Tory's there. Oh, that's why he stepped down. It wasn't about the relationship.
There's John Tory.
Interesting. Yeah, this is stuff we would have seen because it's not in our country.
Wow.
That's really interesting, isn't it?
They found it by searching bed friend. Is that true? That's in the search bar.
That's weird.
Bed friend, and all these people came up.
I don't know. There also could be
maybe pre-populated.
I'm also thinking if you have a translation for English.
Oh, it might be bad translation.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that must be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. And we're going to go back through the Twitter thread here.
Mind you, this app is completely in English.
Yeah. If you possibly can, please follow my talented friend. Yada, yada. Next one. This person says, I know you live in a secluded bubble, but shockingly enough, there are Canadian Chinese citizens. But that probably just triggers you, doesn't it? And she's like, I know this might shock you. And this is Andy Lee. But I am married to a Chinese Canadian citizen and have Chinese kids. So go play your racist card elsewhere.
What was the reply back? So the Chinese Canadians don't want these communist traitors in our country.
Oh my gosh.
She really said that. Dude.
Oh, that hurts. I didn't even catch that.
Dude, 8 hours ago, she was at the keyboard ready to hit those people
fuming.
back, man.
She was fuming. Sorry, am I still in center of the...
Yeah, good.
Oh my gosh.
Gee.
She did that.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Oh my gosh.
She's bold.
Yeah, so I definitely mumbled my words for most of that. So for those who are just listening, I'm going to reread this. So we're going to go to the top a little bit. That's perfect. So a random user commented on these stories that we're just talking about. His name's Ryan. He commented on these stories that she just posted. And he says, I know you live in a secluded bubble, but shockingly enough, they are Canadian Chinese citizens. But that probably just triggers you, doesn't it? And that's where she came back with this. I know this might shock you, but I am married to a Canadian Chinese citizen and have Chinese kids. So go play your racist card elsewhere. And then she came back for the full dunked on sucker.
For the KO.
Chinese Canadians don't want these communist traitors in our country. Yikes.
Dude, she really did that, man.
Sweetness. Can confirm. Chinese tradesmen I talked to are scared of the CCP. They left for a reason. True.
Yeah, I mean, a similar story with many who left Islamic trade. Yeah, Sweeney says, it's almost as though this country was seen as a shining beacon of freedom to those suffering through authoritarian regimes. You could almost say that Trudeau turned that idealistic view to ash.
some hardcore
Jeez,
comments on this
dude,
sucker, man.
People are upset about this.
Yeah,
oh my
really
gosh.
Well, this comes back to the point, right? Like, obviously, we I know had some misslips at the start of the show, and we were kind of joking around, and so that's what happens when these conversations happen, where we want to really bring a lot of this stuff to light. The first thing that we get attacked with is like, well, you're just being racist towards Chinese people.
Yes.
And it's like, no. I'm here to protect my Chinese Canadians against the trash that's coming across the Pacific. Okay?
Yeah.
And the fact that we have Canadian leaders in power who allow it to happen and allow an authoritarian country to continue to abuse our citizens here in Canada, you can screw right off with your racist trash.
Yeah, it's so easy to online say that was like, oh, that's racist. It's like, dude, that's such a load. To call someone racist is that's a packed comment. That's a loaded statement. That means nothing now because everyone is like, this woman, for example, makes a statement about China and is racist.
Yeah.
And it's a very intriguing mindset.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what bothers me in general is that you said it's supposed to be a very loaded statement.
Yeah, it should have
and it doesn't anymore. And
like when I was a kid, if
that.
someone ever said you're racist, I'd be like,
Yeah.
what made you think that? I'd be
Yeah.
like, what? Why? What? And of course, no one did. So it's like, because no one, unless you were, right? And now, I actually don't think people have called us that in our comments, surprisingly. Maybe they have, and I just don't look, but
I haven't seen it.
Yeah. So, but what she's talking about is not too far off things that we would talk about. And she didn't say anything inherently wrong. She just pointed out a video that is on the internet for free publicly. And that was enough to be racist.
Yeah. But yeah, to see all those Canadian representatives showing up on that Chinese TV station is crazy to me.
It's crazy. So it's like, what were they doing? Like, why?
Yeah, I mean...
And the statement of, well, there's Chinese Canadians. Well, then put it on the CBC.
Yeah.
If they're Chinese Canadian, they don't need to watch it in China.
Yeah, exactly.
They're in Canada.
They're not going to watch it in China.
Yeah.
They were not allowed to.
Like, what? Yeah. Oh, why wouldn't it go on CBC? That was not for Chinese Canadians. That was for Chinese people.
Yep.
Which is fine. That's whatever. But call it what it is. It's not, don't play the Chinese Canadian card.
No, exactly. Because if you really wanted to be inclusive, you would have done that for Chinese New Year on the CBC in Canada.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
And I'm sure they did. Everyone, they talk, for example, today, all the leaders talked about Ramadan. They always make a statement, but I don't understand this. I don't get why it had to be on a what was the word? Be like closed down? Like it's because you can't access that website. Right?
Let's try.
Let's see.
Philip,
let's see. It's called.
Is your computer working this week?
Oh yeah, dude. Okay, IQ.com. I don't know if that's it. Oh, maybe it is. Oh, you literally can.
You can access it. Okay.
Can access it. So you can access it in Canada.
So let's go to Mayor John Tory. I'm curious.
Get smooth playback in app.
Hi everyone, Mayor John Tory here. 2020 was a difficult year. I know the majority of our city has done its part to protect their families by staying home, especially our Chinese Canadian community who have done so much to show resilience, to step up, to do.
This is all the people who felt COVID was racist against Chinese people.
Oh, you're right.
Is using this as a way to say, but you did the best during the pandemic.
You're totally.
This is their apology.
That is spot on.
This is him. That however many seconds we're in is clear as day.
Yeah, because now it's starting to hit me is so obviously we're in North America. Sorry, check that search bar right now. What?
Mommy's counterattack.
What is going on?
Oh my gosh. Dude.
But anyways, so we are accessing this in Canada right now, but it is a Chinese owned and government run website. My guess is they allow it to be accessed, so it can be accessed by those who have left home who are in other countries. That's my guess. So that's an argument I can see now of why they did something for it.
Yeah.
But why is it only essentially left-leaning or liberal members?
Because Well, I don't know. This is my opinion.
Yeah.
They were very, I would say, liberal politicians had a very strong common ground throughout the pandemic, which was anyone who makes a comment about China being related to COVID is racist.
Right.
And whereas conservatives were pretty also upfront about saying, but it came from China. Like, they were not afraid to make that correlation, I guess you'd say. I don't know. So you see this and him saying that, especially to our Chinese Canadians, it's like, what did they do more? I'm genuinely curious. Like, did they go above and beyond, or are you just trying to save face?
Right.
Or just push something? I don't know.
Well, let's continue playing this. I'm curious now.
Their part. As we prepare for the new beginning of the Lunar New Year, I am very happy to hear that IQIYI has chosen Toronto as its North American headquarters. So I wanted to thank IQIYI for stepping up during the pandemic, for choosing Toronto and providing quality content to its viewers all the time. Please continue doing what you're doing. It's more important now than ever. And to all of your viewers, I wanted to wish everyone a very happy, prosperous, and healthy Year of the Ox. Kang Hai Fat Choi.
I understand.
This is adding up.
And it was right around, this video is from 2021 February, so this is 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And about a year and a half ago, we were talking about all these like Chinese police stations opening up in Toronto. So it seems like Toronto's being picked for a lot of Chinese influence, it would appear then, which is interesting. So I guess I don't understand. Like, are they trying to become like? Are they like the Chinese Netflix?
Let's do some Googling. We're doing this all live on the air. We should have done this before the show, but we're doing this live with you guys because we love you.
Yeah. Well,
what's really? Like,
let's see.
This is what sources are saying. Obviously, they're state run. But I'm curious of who they actually are.
Yeah.
Is this like the equivalent of like the CBC trying to establish offices in China or the States or something like that, right? Do we have an about anywhere?
Dude, let's see the Wikipedia. It probably has most.
Oh, okay, yeah. Is a China? Yeah, so IQIYI is currently one of the largest online video sites in the world, with nearly 6 billion hours spent on its service each month and over 500 million monthly active users. The company issued its IPO in the U.S. and raised $2.25 billion. IQIYI has not been available in Taiwan since October 15, 2020, due to Taiwan government ban on partnerships with mainland Chinese video streaming companies. Interesting. Founded by Baidu.
Oh, that's interesting. On April 25th, 2017, Netflix, which does not operate at all in China, announced that it had reached a licensing deal with IQIYI, under which some Netflix original productions would be available on IQIYI day and date, with their premieres worldwide. So it's giving like it's going to be like, it's like their Netflix, right?
Yeah.
It's obviously, if Netflix wants a part of it, it's obviously similar to being like Netflix.
It's government run Netflix. That's what I'm gathering.
No, well, is that true? It's a public company.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a public company. I just think it's under I feel like from what I'm reading, it's still government backed.
Got it.
Like, I don't know if it's like absolute public, like not private funds that are funding it is my issue.
This is such a confusing company.
Yeah. We're doing this live. With the
Dude,
servers.
they're so confusing. But what I still don't understand is why Canadian politicians were on it. Well, I do. I understand that because obviously they've chose Toronto and they're making it entry into Canada. Sure. But why? Why do they need an office in Canada? They're traded on the NASDAQ. They're not even traded on the TSX.
Can we just go to DuckDuckGo and type in, like, is IQIYI owned by the Chinese government?
Oh, yeah.
Let's get it.
Comical that you need to use DuckDuckGo to find anything of slim importance. China's Netflix vows to end losses after. So it's being called China's Netflix by Bloomberg.
Right. So in some ways, there's some manipulation because the government won't allow anything else into the country. So they have their own streaming service.
Right. So that is obviously the key there. Is Netflix is banned. And so, well, not I guess not banned, but they were never. They were never permitted to operate there.
Yeah, and it is a really interesting story to see that Taiwan banned this company.
So that's a loaded headline because Taiwan, of course, has been at war for some time. Correct, like to not fall under the CCP regime. Is that not?
Yeah,
a fair statement. Like they're trying actively to not become part of China.
Yeah, so Taiwan initially was, and then they became part of the British Empire.
Yes,
for like whatever it was 150 years.
Yeah, they like
something like that.
Yeah,
and then now that expired, and they essentially were technically to go back under Chinese rule, but they didn't want to.
Right.
So there's just been a heavy conflict since.
Right.
So I don't think has actually ever been resolved. So either way, like, I guess we'll sum it up as the government of China has a huge hand in this company doing well.
Yeah, I would say, if not financially, strictly on a basis of they want to ensure whatever goes on that website is seen by anyone they can put it in front of. I mean, they're illegally trying to put it into Taiwan, so they're obviously okay with breaking rules to make sure whatever's on that app is seen.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And so if that app is so heavily used by Chinese Canadians, and because, it makes sense, that's kind of, if Homeland's watching it, it's kind of similar. I have friends who might be, abroad and they catch the odd CBC channel, right? I understand that.
Yes.
It's just the fact that they're expanding into different countries is really interesting to me.
Yeah. I'm less caught up about the fact that the people were on it now, as I'm more caught up about, why they're opening an office here.
Yeah.
Why do you need Canadian? Like, why not America first? Like, why wouldn't you go to like Silicon Valley? Like, why Toronto?
They might be.
Oh, fair play.
We just don't know.
Oh, maybe they are much bigger than we believe. So I don't think they have an American presence, from what this sounds.
Yeah, I'm reading up too. There's nothing that's clear. They've also talked about how they wanted to build like offices in terms of like housing developers and different tech talent. May not be. They're not exactly opening locations for content creation.
Right.
But it's more so just like to run the company.
Operations.
Yeah.
Right.
IQIYI US is the North American page of IQIYI, the world's leading online movie and video streaming.
W. Yeah, I guess I'll have to put a pin in this, man. I don't know how to feel about it.
Yeah, I think we're gonna come back to this one, y'all.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about it. I am less upset about the politicians being on there now that I know that. Well, no, I'm still upset about it, but I understand why they're on it now. Obviously, with this move to Toronto, but now I want to know why there's a move to Toronto.
Exactly. Yeah, well, Philip's gonna do some editing to cut it all on that dead air, and but as well, 100% is we're gonna look into this again.
Yeah, man,
because this is really, really interesting, and I want to know more. And I actually want to tap some of my Chinese connections to see more and hear what their perspective is on it.
See like how popular actually is it?
Yeah,
because they make bodacious claims. Most popular roles in the world, like, is it really? Yeah, they can just say that. I'd be interested if like that's a daily use sort of thing.
Totally. Well, interesting. Well, onwards and upwards.
Good stuff, man. Oh my! So what are we on to here?
It gets worse.
Yeah,
it gets worse.
So this is all about Handong. Sorry, Handong. So we're on the PEI Premier.
Yeah. So the PEI Premier is on the. They're coming up on election season in PEI, and so he's on the election path.
Look at that raging racist. Oh my god.
You're a terrible human being.
I know.
But yeah, he got in some hot water because of a phone call that was leaked, or at least a conversation that was leaked.
Dirty. He got, what was that thing that happened with Ben Shapiro?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He got Ben Shapiro to whoever released the phone call or whatever.
Oh yeah. Pulled the old Steven Crowder.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So he was on the election trail, and one of the constituents that he was talking to was just bringing up the issue of the trans story hour that's been ripping through the States and obviously catching all the headlines down there, and obviously a little bit up here out west as well. He's just like, I just don't want this, that, the other. And so he responded with his perspective, and we'll read kind of the exact quote is, There was a 32-second recording of the conversation, which was released on social media late last week, in which King was asked by the unidentified man about the trans situation, quote unquote, in PEI. To which King replied, "You don't gotta drive everything down everybody's throat," echoing an earlier comment from a constituent. The problem I have with the rest of this article is that that's all they quoted. They didn't quote any other part of the conversation.
Oh, we don't know the prefix to that?
No, because I haven't had the privilege of actually hearing the whole conversation because it's been all wiped.
Oh.
I could be wrong. Let's do it. This has been kind of one of those nights where we definitely did not come
He
prepared.
said you don't got to drive everything down everybody's throat.
Yeah, so like I'll be honest with you, I just really haven't been able to come across the actual recording.
So obviously, I would say, like, there's lawyers definitely whose whole job is to make that obviously come off the internet, I would assume. Because now if we read that article, he goes on to say, I should have I should have more forcefully stood up for the transgender community, and I apologize unreservedly to those who are rightly offended by my lack of action. But right above that, he says he initially defended his comments, saying he did not believe he sounded sympathetic. King initially defended his comments, saying he did not believe he sounded sympathetic to the man's concerns, which he said were about a drag queen storytime event scheduled to take place in Georgetown, PEI, last month. The event was postponed at the venue, and performer received online threats. So that's tricky, obviously. This stuff has been coming up a lot lately. This, I guess you'd call it, they're like transgender story time. Is that what it's called? Is that where like am I quoting that correctly? Transgender story time?
So this is the problem.
Or no, drag queen story time. Sorry. Sorry.
People are conflating the two. Drag and trans are two very different things.
Oh, wildly.
And because this how media works, things get conflated, right? And so it's
he was asked about trans issues. He's talking about drag queens.
Yeah.
Not in the same ballpark.
So
they can be, but not exclusively.
Mm-hmm. And so it's just stuff that's happening in the States where there's just been some very highly sexual events with children at it that has really got the eye of
I saw
specifically those on the right?
Yeah.
And obviously people are concerned because they're starting to hear similar events happening up here. And so naturally, if all they hear is drag queen story hour, ultimately people kind of jump to what they've been seeing down in the States.
Right.
So in this case, this is a man who sounds very fearful and worried and bringing it up with the premier.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I really didn't see an issue with his initial statement. I agree with it. Like, you should be able to do what you want to do, not be harassed, you should be able to have your dignity of who you are as a human being.
Mm-hmm.
But you also don't have the right to like go, as he said, shove it down other people's throats and like make people live the way that you think they should live. That's the beauty of living in a country that's supposed to value freedom.
Absolutely. I wish we had the beginning of that conversation because admittedly, the statement, you don't have to shove it down everybody's throat, is sort of a whack response to someone just asking about a drag story time. Because it's like, well, them existing is not them shoving it down your throat. If you don't like it, don't go. But if the statement was like, what are your thoughts on drag story times with which they push, ideologies, then he may say that, but we don't have that information. And I don't want to base my next statement off of assumptions. So I just have a feeling, I guess I'll say, that he maybe, doesn't quite care. Yeah, I feel like he just doesn't care. I feel like it's like, whatever. Yeah. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's an okay thing. It's worse. It's better than hating them, but he certainly doesn't seem like the type to fight for their rights.
Yeah, I think it all comes back down to in this case, I mean, it's very possible that we have a huge blind spot on this one because we don't have the full recording. We don't know what happened.
Yeah, it's nothing else is quoted here.
Which is really frustrating, especially the person who ever wrote these articles. The same thing goes for the CBC article that's about this, and I think the CTV one as well. They all do the same thing where they just quote this one line. They don't give the context of what actually happened.
Yeah, I
and
want to know
up to
what
it.
that was. Yeah, in response to.
Exactly. And so we're sitting here because we see it and we want to talk about it because, you know, it's maritime.
It's
related.
local-ish.
Like, we need to talk about these things. But we can't even get the friggin' information on it.
Yeah, it's really frustrating because if I was to judge it just off this, I would go, that's a little rough. That's a bit of a rough response. But what if it was in response to something that was a rough question? You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. So I think I'm not that it's my place anyway, but I certainly can't cast any judgment without, I don't know enough.
Yeah.
Not like.
Thank you. Let's scroll up to the top. We're going to name drop some homies out here. Thank you, Teresa Wright, for amazing journalism.
With the Canadian Press.
Congratulations. Great job on that. Really appreciate you giving us all the information we need to know to be able to have
And it's a
good-
long article.
Yeah.
Like, scroll to the bottom. It's like, it goes on forever.
Yeah. The thing about it, too, that annoys me is that the last half of it isn't even about the situation.
Oh.
They end up going on about something else about another representative in his party.
Oh, yeah, they're talking about, wait. Yeah, they're literally talking about some sort of federal liberal thing now. And provincial. Wait.
No, they're talking about
Why did they put two articles in one, basically?
It's pretty much what happened. It's like one of the conservative representatives in PEI was getting some hot water because they were pushing some anti-vax rhetoric online, and they're kind of drilling her about that. So
that's so interesting, eh? Because no one got in trouble for pushing vax rhetoric. It's so interesting, right?
yeah,
Isn't that just isn't that just the opposite in the different, like, it's the same but in the different direction, isn't it?
yeah. It's like it's almost like you're supposed to have like conversations about these things,
Yeah.
and have different sides of the aisle. And so, anyways, I suffice to say, I just find it interesting because he says that, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know, so say, you know, this person asks the question, you know, what are your thoughts on Drag Queen Spoiler
Yeah.
Hour? And he responds with, well, you know, I just don't want to be jammed, beat down people's throats, but I don't really mind.
Right.
Yeah, so that's what a premier appear is getting in trouble for doing. For not making a strong enough stance is what people had an issue with.
Not strong enough against?
Not strong enough and not like in support
too
of
strong.
Wasn't supporting the LGBT community.
Oh.
What people were upset about.
Oh, okay.
And then you go south of the border. And again, I made the mistake early, as I said, you can conflate the issues. Because Trump is talking about something a little different here. Mm-hmm. But you get the idea.
Okay. Oh, look at him. He's crazy. I'll get that set.
Just listen to this.
If I was a basketball coach, I'd be the greatest coach in history. I'd have a women's team. I'd have all men. I'm not a fan of LeBron James. I don't like LeBron. But I'd say, hey, LeBron, you ever think of becoming a woman? We're going to go undefeated for the next 5 years.
Dude. No. The Olympics just banned today
I saw that.
transgender competitors.
I saw that.
They must compete in their biological gender field.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was big news from the Olympics.
That was big. That's a big step forward.
Yeah, that's huge because, like, I understand like the common theme online is like that's bad.
Yeah.
Like that's the trending opinion to have on that topic is that that's bad. But most of the athletes that talk about it are like, this is good. This is fair.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like, that's why I actually want to, obviously I showed you that video. That's kind of show the contrasting.
Kind of a gag. Yeah.
Of like what's happening. But like, if you go to like the link, our last link here, it was a tweet that came up. And it was about a woman who was, you know, doing cycling for, it was like another like bike race.
Oh, okay.
And, you know, she came in and she was like flanked by two trans women, I guess is the term, who were just biological men who are now women. Mm-hmm. And she just like broke down in tears because she's like, this just isn't what it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Like, this is supposed to be about women. So this is what she said. She's like, I've decided to end my cycling career at my last race at the recent UCI Cyclocross National Championships in the elite women's category. I came in 4th place, flanked on either side by male riders awarded 3rd and 5th places. My sister and family saw it as they watched a man finish in front of me, having witnessed several physical interactions with them throughout the race.
Yeah, that's tough. That is tough. And I was actually with family, and we talked about that. And it's a really true statement in that it's like really unfair for the people who've trained their whole lives and, you know, are competing in what they believe to be with their direct peers kind of thing, right? And then, yeah, to like watch your championship go away, it's like, that's gotta be hard. Like her family was like sobbing, she said. So yeah, I feel with them, man. You know,
it's a complex issue on both sides, right?
It is, dude.
And it's starting to get to that point, and this is the issue I come back to Civil War, because it's coming to a point where people just can't come to an understanding on any of this.
Yeah.
It's either you let them join, or you don't let them join.
Yes.
What are you gonna do? And it's either you got to take a stance.
And once
on
you
this.
make a stance, like once you make a,
yeah,
you've.
And it's probably already happened with us here, where people was like, okay, like they
quote unquote got our number.
Yeah, they're like, okay, they're anti-trans.
Right.
At no point tonight did we ever
make
any. We're just literally talking about the news, talking about where people are coming from.
Yeah.
And
also, I'm allowed to not like things that happen and can still like people as a person.
Yeah, imagine that.
Yeah.
So it's just like, yeah, women's sports is, because of this stuff, is how it's interesting how the stories that come out are biological men transitioning to women and affecting women's sports, but I've not seen any stories of the opposite.
Yeah. But what I have heard stories about through conversations in my personal life with people who have seen it firsthand in prison, men identifying as women to land in a certain part of the prison. That's a serious issue.
That's concerning.
Yeah. That's concerning.
And then people who don't want to acknowledge that this conversation needs to happen, and people I don't really care to talk to.
Because then there's like, okay, if you're out in the real world, the conversation is a little more diverse. Like it's a lot more intricate, and you need to give it a lot more care, you know, because to just walk up to a cyclist and say, you cannot compete even though you've transitioned, you know, that's still a hard conversation. And you have to approach that with grace. But if you're in jail, your only right is to get food, maybe. Like, sorry, dog. This isn't about making you feel good. You're in prison.
Right.
You forfeited every right to some sort of luxuries the second you committed a crime. That's how I feel about jail anyway. It's like, there's no room for that. You're in jail. We have to protect you from hurting other people and make you do your time kind of thing. Like, it's crazy that can even happen, you know?
Mm. Yeah.
And they listen.
Right.
Because they could call an ombudsman and say, I'm not being, my rights aren't being my quote unquote rights, I suppose. I don't know how that works in jail. I don't know. Are being
infringed upon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely it's interesting. And we will leave it at that.
Yeah, man.
So it's been the theme of tonight is we ended up we bit off some stories we didn't realize we were biting off, is what I'm realizing tonight.
That was better than not talking about them at all.
Good point.
Yeah, man. And people can do their own research too. Like maybe there's things we missed or we glanced over. And beyond that as well, these stories are still kind of open cases too.
Yeah.
Like the stuff, especially with Han Dong, is like that just happened, I believe, today, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Dropped today.
So I mean, we still have to see that through.
Mm-hmm.
So we can always follow up.
Yeah, exactly. Come back with some information.
Yeah, man.
And it is time.
Don't care.
Oh,
wrong one.
Our listeners like
for our fan segment. We got an email that came in.
Yeah, man. Oh, do you have it?
I think I pulled it up.
Okay.
Here. It was actually in regards to our episode from last Thursday, and it was kind of just talking about a service that we didn't bring up, and I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, this was in response to our conversation about hardware wallets and security and crypto and things like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this comes from Oliver, and he said just about crypto. There's an easy way to buy it. And sorry, I should rewind that. All right. There's an easy way to buy it by using the decentralized exchange called BISC, BISQ. It is legal in Canada and much simpler and faster for buying Bitcoin and Ethereum. No need to provide any info. It's a peer-to-peer exchange, and it's also great for selling. So look into that yourselves, and I think it was like very interesting. Like the fact that, you know, it's kind of like we talked about it, we looked into it ourselves because it was the first I'd seen of it personally, because I always just relied on an exchange out west to kind of transfer my crypto. and then kind of leave it until I can move it to my hardware wallet.
Yeah.
But this is something that's kind of similar to what BitTorrent was back in the day.
Dude, it's like you download them to your computer kind of thing. Like, it's weird.
Yeah, and we're still looking into it because we don't fully understand how the technology works of like because you accepts Interact transfers from your bank account that you can then swap for Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Which is the part that instantly caught me up because like that money, there's a Canadian somewhere operating the bank account that an e-transfer is accepted into. The e-transfers don't just go nowhere.
Right.
So who is that? You know?
And I think this is where it goes the peer-to-peer, right? It's the person who's is accepting the Canadian fiat money. So that's that.
Oh, so you're saying, I wonder if that's the technology. Like you get a unique e-transfer address, which goes to another user, like forwards to them or something.
Yeah, but that's the thing is like that's essentially, I believe, how it works. It's just the transfer process that I'm really want to learn more about. So I'm like, okay, where is that money held in the
interim?
Yeah, while the transaction's being processed. Really would be interested to hear more about that.
Like, is it just in someone's like Tangerine account? Yeah. Like, where is it?
Yeah, because essentially, if it's peer to peer, you have one person who's selling the Bitcoin, the other person who's giving up the fiat money for it.
Yep.
If you're saying Interact e-transfer, I guess it's just it goes through.
Or is there like a trust in between? Is there like what's that word when you buy a house and the money sits there for a minute?
Oh, an escrow?
Yeah, is it sitting somewhere waiting for that transaction to finalize, fiat moves over when it has?
Well, that's kind of how a smart contract works.
Right.
Is like you each put essentially your goods in the ring.
Yeah.
And until it gets held there until the transaction's finalized on the blockchain, and then it goes either way. So it's probably what ended up how it works. Yeah, we discovered it.
I think
look at us doing things on the fly tonight. Eh?
Yeah, man. Same as last episode. We just shot off the cuff for real last episode.
Yeah.
Found this one here funny.
The human rights organizations are tools for intelligent agencies to talk crap about countries they don't like, because there are a lot of evil crap. I'll read it verbatim.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of evil crap that is happening, but they don't report on it, making it like it didn't happen. If history is not written, it didn't happen, kind of thing. I'm left a little confused after reading that one.
Yeah, that was rough.
Their username is Asdf.
Yeah.
So, not to be rude.
Shoot
but,
40.
Oh my gosh, we replied back to them.
Yeah, we got that one. That was one that we will. So this is a comment that we're gonna follow up on next week. I thought it was interesting. They would like us to do a podcast on Nova Scotia communities being involved in the 15-minute smart city situation. So Annapolis Royal, Digby, New Glasgow, etc. And I said we look into it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
A lot of these are just from hunters.
Yeah. It's all from Hunter's video.
Bruh, people eat him up.
Dude, yeah. It's just,
it shows the video over here.
Yeah. The camera's blocking you?
I was like, wait, what are these about? Oh, dude, people still love that video.
Oh, it's still growing.
Incredible.
Yeah, I think that thing is like well over 8 million plays.
And 6 hours ago, people are still commenting on it. Interviewer, sir, this is Wendy's. Wait, that's funny.
People are good. But yeah, so thank you for the fan segment, y'all. Appreciate it.
Man, thanks. And keep emailing us. Apparently people know how to find that, so that's great.
Yeah.
That's very helpful. Our website email does in fact work, so
yeah.
Send stuff
all
along,
works.
man.
And if you disagree with us today, we'd love to hear it more. If you know more about the situations we talked about today, please email us as well.
Yeah, disagree with us just nicely.
Yeah.
Well, if someone disagrees with us nicely, we're not the type to run away from it.
Yeah,
but if you're rude, it's like, there's no point.
Yeah. Take the Courtney Boyce approach.
Yeah.
You'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We're always down to hear some people out.
Yeah, man, straight up.
Exactly. Straight up is right.
Straight up.
Or you can just leave a comment.
Yeah.
There's not enough comments.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, we read all the comments at this point. So whatever it is you're doing, whether you be going to PEI
or shoving views down people's throats
or commenting on a YouTube video.
Oh,
true.
Whatever it is you're doing,
wherever you are,
we love you.
We're out.
Peace. Trump 2024.
Oh.